tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. Or I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so
Okay,
I can
okay,
over.
come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, Amazon Music, Podchaser, JioSaavn, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kanye talk here at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So there's topics and guests to that end, and also special series, and absolutely love that we are the number one talk in the IE, and that we are the number one 8 a.m. show here. Thank you for helping us with that in my 11th year. 582 consecutive weeks, and show number 969. I can't think of a better show to have the 69 on, because this is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and co-host
Sam Works.
Whoa, that was what is that?
Sam. There you go. You just gotta get my throat a couple minutes. We'll get back together.
That sounds like had a good time last night voice. But welcome back to the show, co-host Sam Works. And we're gonna start with the. I put this. I'm sexy, and you know that song. For the promo on this. I think that's hilarious. But we're going to talk about Lookism today, because I think we talked about it. We briefly touched on it last week, and so we wanted to follow up with that, because I think it's a great topic around if you're good looking, do you get more perks, or is it fair, or are beauty's in the eye of the beholder? But before we go do that, we are going to have breakfast together. And you know the drill. It is time for taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. 8 specific things that we are grateful for outside of ourselves at the top of the bun, and then 8 specific things that we appreciate about ourselves. So, Sam, take it away. Oh, Sam can't take it away because there you go.
There you go. I'm back. Okay.
All right. What are you grateful for?
Woo. I'm grateful that I have a voice still.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know. I think it's because my fan in my room, it just dried out my throat or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Time for a humidifier.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So you're grateful for your voice. I am grateful for the ocean breeze and the ocean waves that I can actually hear all night long. I have a real wave machine.
There you go. I am grateful for this perfect weather that has been happening all of June, hopefully all of July. The summer is not miserable, and I can't get enough of it. It's amazing.
Fantastic. I am grateful that there's so much to do in life. There's so many ways to enjoy Mother Nature, even though I'm allergic to hiking. but I go out on the water. And so this is my 34th, I was telling Polly, this is my 34th season racing sailboats. And last night, this is my third gratitude. We came in first again.
No, again. Okay.
Wait. Hold on. This deserves definitely applause. So I am, okay, hold on. We got a lag here. What I get to do is take out, if it isn't enough to be outside on the water, I get to take out, I don't want to use the word inner city. What's another good word for kids that wouldn't normally be able to go out and learn how to race sailboats? We'll just do it that way. And we have kids from all NAACP, Interval House, Dramatic Results, and YMCA. And yesterday we had Lakewood YMCA, and the week before we had Fairfield YMCA, and both groups of kids from one was going into, I think the youngest is going into grade 5, oldest is going to college. So that's the range of kids. And we won, first, and there's a gun at the end across the finish line, and just watching them enjoy is just such a blessing. So it just makes something that's already cool even cooler. And I asked them what was their favorite part of the whole experience, because they'd never been out on the water before. And 2 of them go, winning. So winning. you know that they're like their teacher, right? It's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose.
Now, is it you guys got first place because of the boat or because of the people? Because you know what this, like, when it comes to driving cars, it's not the car, it's the driver. So like,
oh, for sure, the people, because it's a single design race, which means that all the boats are the same. So it's not, one boat's bigger, one boat's smaller. They are all Catalina 37. That means they're a 37-foot boat, right? And they're all the same. And I think there were 9 or 10 boats. We all crossed the start line at the same time. Well, we try to jockey for position. So definitely the people. And we have 6 racers who we are all part of the U.S. Sailing Center team, and then 6 kids. So the fact that we've won, and we've had a great track record. I've been racing with this particular boat for 16 years. So the first 8 years we were always 1 and 2, and then we went into a bit of a slump, and we're back now being super competitive, which is great because we have a consistent crew again. And I know that there's some criticism of some people. They'll say, well, you don't let the kids actually do anything. You guys do everything. And, it's not fair. And it's like, even if that were true, which is not, we do teach the kids, even if it was true, are you saying that the 6 of us beat the shiitake out of your 12? Like, listen to what you're saying. That's kind of silly. But anyways, none of my sailing opponents are listening. But anyways, that's the end of my gratitude. Go.
Okay. I'm honestly very grateful to be living in California. And I'm grateful that I'm so into dancing and entertaining and just the entertainment industry. That makes me sound crazy. I love it all. I like.
Really, Sam? Did something happen that you didn't tell me about? Entertainment industry?
No, not the entertainment industry. Anyways, I like dancing. I'm very grateful that I'm able to go out there and learn new dancing, and able to meet new people, network, and all that good stuff. So I love the social life. That's all I gotta say. Especially in California, gotta love it.
He said the new dancing, not the nude dancing, just in case.
Both actually. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, down to the bottom of the bun because Sam likes it on the bottom. It is appreciation of yourself. What do you like about yourself? Why do we do this? Because one of my BS belief systems is that good mental health starts with core love for yourself, self-care, self-love, self-approval. Because the bottom line is, Sam's bottom line is, if you can't love yourself, how the fork do you expect someone else to? So here we go. What do you like about yourself, Sam?
I love how social I am. I love that people who are there by themselves, whether they're out in public or, just somewhere, I'm able to talk to them and make them smile. It's a blessing to have.
Yes, it is. I appreciate that. I love double entendres.
Okay.
Or triple.
I appreciate that how much I want to learn and study. I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday. I picked up Think and Grow Rich, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was at Barnes & Noble and I started grabbing like 5 or 6 books. I had to put them all back. I was like, I can't be doing this. Like, I was so intrigued with all these books that I can read and like the idea of like what's out there. I like reading self-development and non-fictional books. There's only one fictional book that I actually read all the way through. So
cool. What were some of the titles besides Think and Grow Rich?
What happens after history? So like what happens after World War I, after World War II, like anything in history, like what was the aftermath? How do people rebuild themselves and all that stuff? All the like I love like history, right? So it was basically there's this whole book about everyone that made history. That was my alarm.
Oh, okay.
And then Spies with Russia and Ukraine, but this was before now. This was, I think it was like 1916 or like during World War I when Russia and Ukraine had problems in the beginning. And it was just interesting stuff to learn and to find out. So, and dress code, like how did like everything come about like throughout history and throughout, the centuries of like why or what makes a woman pretty and like why they wear skirts compared to why men used to wear makeup to, back then to now and like all that stuff. And I was so intrigued. I was like,
wow.
I wish I was a fast reader, first of all, so I can just read all these books. Like I was amazed. It was crazy.
Cool. And I appreciate that about you. You are definitely, the analogy is, I think there's so many people in my life that I'm so appreciative and grateful that they support me, and I thank them regularly. And my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, is certainly one of those core people. And I thank him, for all that he has taught me. And he said, he says, thank you. But if you were a teacup turned over, doesn't matter how much I teach, you would not have received it because you turn your cup up. I'm able to pour.
Right.
So the credit belongs to you, which I thought was just beautiful, right? So that's the compliment to you that you are open. And I will also say that is something that I appreciate about myself. I love new things. I love first times. I love doing everything at least once, so I appreciate that part of myself. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, not that I understand, but I know life has its ups and downs. So when things start to go a little sideways or, head down south, I get a little excited because I know there's always a lesson to learn in that. And I haven't died yet, right? So it's like, I know once this passes, life will be great again. And life is great always, but there's definitely some challenges. But I wanted to tell you something about reading. I didn't, like, even in high school and college and stuff, I never read a single book, and I used to brag about that. Like, there would be people like, oh, I read this, and I was like, dude, I have never read a single book in my life yet, you know. And then what made me start reading was when I got my real estate license. Like, I had to read, I had to study, I had to be like a serious candidate in order to get my license. And then I just got into it. Now I have a whole top shelf closet just filled with books that were hand-me-downs, books that I bought, and they're all self-development. And I love reading those type of books.
Yay. My final appreciation is, as you can see, you mentioned Barnes and Noble. I am so appreciative of my ability to do the work that is needed. People ask me all the time, how did you get a book signing at so many Barnes and Nobles? And did your publisher, the assumption is your publisher got them for you and, everything's paid. No, that's Stephen King. Stephen King has that kind of, ability to do that. I literally I paid an assistant at the time to get every single, in a spreadsheet, Barnes and Noble, how large it was, if they have had book signings in the past, who the person was to contact, right? What the time frame was, and then contacted each one and offered myself up as an author, a published author, not self-published, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be able to, have a book signing. And that was a lot of work, but I do it anyway. So there's, like you said, there's things that you like to do and things that you don't like to do, things that go your way and things that don't go your way. So this is, there's a point of satisfaction when I look back, which is why I framed it, because it's an example of when you build it, they will come. When you plant the seed, the plant will grow. And once you plant it, the worst thing you can do is pull it up by the roots and say, are you growing? I just knew I was sending it out the contact. If they decided to have me, they would. If they didn't, not personal. I don't need to see it as a huge failure, and as a result, I've had quite a few beautiful, opportunities to have book signings. So happy for me.
There you go. Where's your applause? Give me applause.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. And that's it for the Having Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works
here on KCAA AM 1050 FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and more. And if you would like to chat with us now, we are into the topic today of Lookism. You just go to my YouTube channel. We're having issues with my LinkedIn this morning, so just go to Facebook. YouTube is central, where I carry all of my 969 shows. And Sam, what is your take on, because you've appreciated yourself as cute or good looking, and you're grateful for that. You're humbly proud of the fact that you are you're easy on the eyes and it works to your advantage. And how is that fair? I'll just ask that.
I would say it's not fair. I'm not gonna lie. It really isn't. And I knew that from the beginning, like when I was in elementary school. Because if all right, we can exclude tattoos, but there's some people out there that look like thugs. Okay, I do not look like a thug. Okay, if you see me walking down the street, you probably don't think I'm out here bullying people and all this and all that. But that gives me remorse, mercy, and second chances. It really does, whether it's in business, relationships, or anything. And I look around and I try not to be so vain. I try to humble myself. And like what John Shin said, sorry, we got a motorcycle driving by. Your ego is not your amigo. Okay. So I don't want to walk around thinking that, I'm all hot shiitake. I don't want to be that guy. Right. But I've seen perks from just looking nice and looking clean and having Lookism, and I told Paulie Boy, actually, I said, if we all didn't have eyes, the world would be different, right? Because you would probably fall in love with somebody else. There wouldn't be any like racism or stereotypes or anything like that, because it's all based off what we see. When it comes to like relationships, like women or men, and I said this before, like, there's a difference between sexy and beautiful, right? Sexy is only temporary. Sexy is only temporary. Like, someone can look sexy through the eyes for about a good 10 to 20 years. After that, sexy kind of just fades away. But someone who is beautiful, they can be beautiful for a lifetime, right? I've seen some very beautiful older women, like no joking, like in their 80s or 90s. I'm like, wow, you are so beautiful. Am I attracted to them? No, but it's their heart that really counts. So Lookism is really a false approach and a false attraction in my eyes, because you can abuse it and you can't share it, right? You can't just give your looks to somebody else. So that's kind of like my take.
Cool. I looked it up as usual. Lookism, prejudice or discrimination based on physical appearance, and especially physical appearance believed to fall short of societal notions of beauty. So I'm going to put the moose on the table like I like to do, because when it comes to physical beauty and what is decided, who is beautiful, who is not, who is attractive, who is not, who is good looking, who is not. And I have to be honest, when you see one partner who is extremely attractive and you see the partner that they're with and they're not as attractive, or they might be downright, I'm not going to use the word, starts with you, because it was said to me and it was quite scarring. Okay. I had a guy in ninth grade drive by me in his bike and say, ugly. So obviously, I knew that I was not meeting the notion of ugly. And here's a new story that I haven't told is I can remember consciously in grade 9 and 10 saying to myself, you are never going to be popular because of the way you look. Glasses, thick, I had -9, zits, right? Just not cool. My mother made me wear polyester. So it was just not pretty. And I remember having this conscious conversation with myself saying, you want to be popular, but you're not getting there on your looks. So you're going to have to be super nice to people. It was a conscious, you have to be super nice to people in order to be, oh, hello. Orville Nation is here from New York.
Hola, amiga.
Hey, Sam.
Hello.
And
Morning.
Marissa ain't fading at all. Just saying. Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, did it again. So thank you, Orville Nation from New York. We're talking about Lookism, and apparently I'm not fading because I'm #ageless as I fix my hair. So here's the story. So I said I have to choose to be super nice to people, even when I don't want to be. And that's how I'm going to be popular. And that was my strategy going into high school. And it worked because I was super nice and, I didn't have close friends, but every single group, the jock group, I had, a good relationship with, so they would, oh, hi. The nerd group, the artsy group, the student government group, I became part of the student government and all of that stuff. And it was a conscious decision. Now, when I turned 17, I started to lose weight, and I consciously wanted to prove my mother, who was calling me fat, ugly, and clumsy, that she was wrong. So I basically starved myself, dropped a whole bunch of weight, got contacts, zits cleared up, dermatologist, and next thing you know, I'm modeling. Okay. And I remember the first moment I had that conscious, after I got off the runway doing runway modeling, got off and said, now I don't have to be nice.
Wow.
Right? I'll never forget that. I was first year college, I was modeling, and that was so I went into college. So I went into high school with the strategy of being nice, and then went into colleges. I don't have to be nice anymore because I look good. Isn't that interesting? I've never told that story before. Yeah. Oh, that's so cute, Orville. Yeah, really. That's exactly, it was a conscious choice. So talk about Lookism and understanding that looks are that important. And it's unfortunate that is, like you said, Sam, the reality. It is important. And it's such a horrible BS belief system, because look at what people do to try to save that ability to look attractive. I mean, you see it every day. I'll never forget. I think Renee Zellweger is amazing and beautiful. And then one day I go, what did she do to her face? I couldn't even recognize her. And then there's like 100,000 examples of that, going to, looking at, I tried Botox. I'll be honest. I tried it because I wanted to, stay looking young and all of that. And I was like, I went into the office, and the girl that escorted me to the doctor in the back, I mean, she looked like that woman on, on Jerry Springer, who has the Catwoman, right? Who's had so much plastic surgery that she, it's just not pretty. And I said to the doctor, I said, how do you like not tell her it's enough? It's really enough. Your lips are ballooned out, your cheeks are ballooned. You don't look like a human, right? And he said, I have no control over what people ask me for. So my job is just to give them what, they want. And I thought, okay, there's something really wrong here with Lookism. There's something really wrong. This is the consequence and the damage that can happen when our society is so caught up in Lookism.
Yeah. And the problem is that everybody's different. Everybody's skeletal system, body figure, they're all different. That makes us so unique. And the fact that there are people out there trying to be another person in terms of looking the way they want to look is the death of them. My ex, she was in love with I forgot what model, and she tried so hard to look just like her.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the day, like her family, not I couldn't do it. Her family had to tell her, like, okay, you're big boned, you're not gonna be that thin. Like, you're just not. Like, you have to be happy with what you have. You got to appreciate what you got. There was so my buddy, he was on a YouTube show, and it was like, who's not the virgin, right? And there was like 8 dudes, and then they had like a minute to ask each other questions, and then like, you know, point out, okay, like he's obviously a virgin, we'll take him out, and then you have to find out who was not a virgin.
Okay.
And my friend was on it, and he's 22. His car is $177,000 vehicle. He made his own business. Like, he's soaring through life right now. I didn't think he was a virgin, but I guess he is. Anyways, the guy who was a virgin, when I first watched it, I was gonna be like, bro, you are the virgin. Like, I was just gonna point him out, like get him out, because he was like a nerd, but he was so like girly, and just like he looked so like weak, you know. He was not masculine whatsoever, and he was the only one that wasn't a virgin out of all these normal people, okay, and people who are actually good looking. And he slept with like 8 different people, right? And he was like, look, as long as you dress clean, smell clean, and you have a good personality, like, you don't have to worry. Like, you can still live your life and do your thing. But at first, I was like, this guy has no chance. I was judging him so hard just to find out that he was the man.
I just figured out next week's topic is virginity. So that'll be an issue. We haven't talked about that. So that's next week. So remind me when I ask you what the topic is. So Orville Nation, going back to that comment about the doctor who said, I just do what they asked me to do. And you are saying that that's an unethical practice. But I have to tell you, I kindly went there with that doctor, and I said, don't you think that's a little unethical? And you know what his response was? If I don't do it, they will go to someone else to do it that may disfigure them. I know I'm not going to disfigure them. So I would rather do it than have them go to someone else. And I'm like, okay, that's the end of my Botox career. That's the end of my, because it's just a horrible thing. So anyway.
I would have looked at the doctor and been like, if I got what you're getting now, like, am I going to turn into you? Like, I would not do that. Like, like if someone who was, not healthy looking, I don't want to discriminate, came up to me at the gym, was like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this if you want like an amazing body. I'm going to be like, if I do what you're doing, am I going to turn out like you? Right? So this Botox doctor, if I get what you're getting, am I going to look like you? Like, I wouldn't. I'll turn around right now, 180. I would not go get the Botox or anything like that,
Yeah. But the obsession with looks is what we're talking about today. If you've just tuned in, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, and our Thursday special series called Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And we are sharing, putting the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. As usual, our experiences, both personally and watching Lookism. So we are seeing the damage, right? And we're in the second half now, so we're going to look for some solution. I know myself, I have body dysmorphia because I'm not blaming, but I know how it developed. I know how, being called fat and ugly and being kicked under the table when I'm eating, don't eat that, and all of that led me to sneaking food at night, all these horrible coping mechanisms. And so I've had, large swings with weight. I've probably lost 1,000 pounds in my lifetime, really a lot, then losing, a lot and losing. And as a result, my work on a daily basis is to be okay with the way I look. And so being okay with how you look is, I think, a corner turning process. So if you are like me and unhappy with the way you look, the work for me that worked was not standing in front of the mirror and saying, you look beautiful. I'm beautiful. I'm, hot. I'm sexy. That for me did not work. Affirmations that are just a plain lie don't help me. It may help you, and if it works for you, great. For me, it's kind of like that motorcycle. It doesn't work at all. So for me, it was a gradual thing, and it required me to do some work around, my body. So I know that if I have the discipline to do the things that I know I need to do, exercise, eat right, or try things like what worked for me is intermittent fasting. So not so much carbohydrates. So that works for me. And so knowing that, I have to, one, practice that discipline. And when I do it, like this morning, I did my arm workouts. I didn't feel like doing it. I did my core workout. I didn't feel like doing it. But when I finish, I'm like, good for you. Good job, darling. Good job, mama. And that's my way. And then, I moved in the same building, but I had a chance to redecorate, and I bought, Hello Gorgeous and Hi Beautiful. And I can begin to, after years and years of not being happy with myself, begin to move in that direction. So it's a balance. That's why I say it's all about a balance. It is your mental models have to change, but they change in conjunction to things that you're doing yourself. That's my solution, because I'm the ultimate judge of how I look. And if I don't think I look well, I'm going to attract people who also don't think I look well. And that's what happened in my marriage. I always thought I was fat. I always thought I was undesirable. I always thought I was unattractive. And I attracted a man formerly known as my husband, formerly known as my dick wad. I guess I can say dick wad.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out. Sorry, Joe. I had to get to that point to take responsibility that I attracted someone who just adopted those feelings about myself. So if I want to attract someone who thinks I'm beautiful, I have to start with thinking that I'm beautiful. Not all the time, and not, Hollywood star beautiful. I'm 88% fabulous, the 12% of the time, whatever. So that's my solution. Comments? Your strategy?
Well, I mean, you there's nothing much I can say. You kind of stole the show. If you feel like crap, if you feel ugly and you feel like crap, okay, let me take that back. If you feel like crap, you probably look like crap. You know what I'm saying? So it all starts within. If you feel confident, people will see the confidence, and people are attracted to confidence. Okay. Me personally, I've seen people out there that, talking about Lookism, didn't look so good, but I was like, I applaud them for having true confidence with themselves. Like that didn't make me like physically attracted to them, but I was attracted to their confidence, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I have I know exactly what you're talking about, because I remember watching this woman walk across the street, and she was heavy. Not like obese heavy, but heavy where, there were several, what they call rolls, right? And she had a tight top on, which for me is like a huge no. And I still, even though I've lost some weight, I still wear flowy clothes. And I have friends who are like, stop wearing those clothes because they make you look so big, but you're not anymore. And it's a tough thing for me to wear tight fitting clothes because I still have that picture of me. And that woman who had rolls had a tight top on, and she walked across the street like she was that song, I'm sexy and I know it. And my first reaction was and my second reaction was, dang, if I could have 20% of her swagger and her belief system around herself, because that's what's most important, right? She doesn't care what I think about her body, right? She doesn't give a flying through a rolling donut, but she feels good about how she looks, and that is the most important thing. That was I can see her now, and it was just delightful. And that's she's my role model. I want to be able to feel that good without the criticism of how I look. That is just like there's a book out there, 50 of the most beautiful women in the world. Famous photographer took the pictures, had the picture on one side. On the other side is the comment from the model that says, I don't like my blank. I wish I did not, my nose is too big. And they're beautiful. They're perfect. And I remember looking at that saying, geez, I have no chance in hell of ever feeling beautiful, because if the standard of beauty, have that criticism. So that criticism is not your amigo. That voice in your head that all people seem to get. I'm echoing a little. Is that you or me? That little thing. I don't know why that comes up. I would love to know why that comes up. But anyways, that BS that develops around age 8 to 10, I would say. Even if you're from a good family, even if you've never had abuse, even if you are not one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, it's the self-consciousness, self-criticism that seems to come up with all humans. Your kids, you think you're beautiful. People tell you you're beautiful. You walk in your beauty and you're all confident. And then somewhere around that 8 to 10, all of a sudden you're so self-conscious, you're looking around, oh, they're cute, they're popular, they are smart, and I'm not. And that's such a damaging BS bull shiitake belief system that really needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty strong-minded. Like, it's kind of hard to break me down. I'm very optimistic and stuff. And I think the backbone to it is just how blessed I am in terms of like my looks and the person I came to be. And I think, honestly, if I was in anyone else's shoes, I would have a hard time in life. Because I know that I am blessed and I know that everything's okay. And I can walk around, and if I can't get a job or if I can't do a sale or anything like that, good morning, Maria, with T and Telly, I can keep pushing forward. I can keep going. And I never really got to experience, I know I'm not perfect, but I really do not criticize myself. There's always imperfection in perfection, And so, like, just like that book with all those models, like, they found something that they thought was not, appealing to themselves, And it's like, no matter how beautiful you are, you'll always find a flaw. And the thing is to just accept who you are and rock with it, Like, if you really want to change, you'll change. you know, like, because you can do anything. You can do anything now. Oh my gosh. Like, we are living in a world where if you don't want an Adam's apple, you can get that shaved. You know, if you want bigger lips, you can get bigger lips. If you want to look like that doctor who looks all, you know, non-human, you can do that too. You know what I mean? And now, I don't know, but at the same time, you have to start from within, right? Because if you feel sad, you're gonna look sad. If you feel sexy, guarantee you someone out there is gonna be like, "Dang, that person's sexy." You know, it's just it all starts from within. It's how you project yourself. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hi Maria, thanks for the great subject comment. If there's a great African American saying, when there is no enemy inside, no one outside can hurt you. And that is the prescription for anyone who is blaming society for their for the demise of how people are looking. Society can do whatever it wants. The most important person is how you choose to see this. So you can jump up and down and society shouldn't do that, and you know, we glorify this and da 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 da, and it's like, okay, yeah, and who's the boss of you? Where do you want to focus on? What do you want to look at? Do you want to look at the one thing that's wrong with you and not look at the 99 things that are right with you? I know what happened, what helped me love my body. That's I call it Love My Body Project 1.0. I'm on 6.0 now because sometimes I, you know, don't do what I know I need to do and I just start over. So I'm on version 6.0. But the most important is your own way of looking at. So I started saying, instead of looking at my body and all the rolls in the flab or whatever, is saying, what do I love that my body allows me to do? It takes me on a boat to raise sailboats. It takes me, you know, to rollerblade. It allows me to speak on stage. You know, all the things that my body allows me to do that are positive versus just the look of it. So that for me is definitely one of the solutions for looksism.
Yeah, and another thing is, you know, your gratitude sandwich. Like, that helps a lot, you know, because if you're always thinking negative on yourself, like, how the fork can you think positive about yourself, you know? And so, like, the appreciation, the gratitude, like, it's all from within, you know, and that's just the biggest ticket. It really is, you know. Paul, I remember this. Paul actually told me he knew me since middle school. We go way back, okay? And when we started hanging out and doing all this stuff, he was like, you know, Sam, when I first saw you, I thought you were, you know, fill in the blank. And
He goes blank at that.
I know, right? Perfect timing. And he was not the first person that told me that. And it's just because in, like, you know, elementary, middle school, and high school, I was a pretty boy. So, like, that already carries some type of, like, description on my back of who I am and what I am. And I knew that from the beginning in elementary. I knew I was a ladies' man. I knew I was a pretty boy. And I told myself, I don't want to, like, people who know they're pretty boys, they abuse it. They take advantage. They're players. They're, you know, they're mean to people who are not in their same category and the same fit, you know. And I didn't want to be that guy. So, like, one of my greatest moments in life, which happens to be in high school, right? We're in the quad area during lunch, and it was raining. Okay, pouring rain, and everyone is underneath the building, but in the middle of the quad on the lunch tables was one girl. She was sitting there, no umbrella, just sitting in the rain. And everybody at lunch was just looking at her, pointing at her, talking about her, doing nothing but making fun of her. So I took someone's umbrella, I opened it up, I walked out there, I sat down next to her. I said, "What are you doing in the rain?" You know, like I wanted to be the nice guy. I don't want to be that guy who abuses his looks, you know, who gets what he wants, who you know, has everything for him. Because I really don't. You know, and I just wanted to be the teacher in life to like let other people know. Like I wanted to be a leader, saying like, even though I am who I am, like I can be a better person, you know. And that's where it all starts, because if I give someone else faith and they're like, okay, not all people who are pretty or handsome are mean or judgmental or, you know, anything like that, then like that makes them feel better, right? Which makes me feel better, which is a whole chain reaction of making life great.
You got a compliment from Maria. And now you know why he is my co-host. And now you know why I've attracted people who are, you know, good looking. I've got a soft spot for good looking guys. I can't deny that, but that's not why he's my co-host. He's my co-host because he is young and humble and learning and open to all these things. So yes, he is single, so you can apply and send life, send your picture. No, I'm kidding, sort of. Anyways, it's been a great discussion. Thank you for the compliments on the topic. I just wanted to spend the last couple of minutes on the show inviting you all to something that Sam and I actually invited Sam towards. We're building a team, literally. And yesterday, I don't know if you watched it. It was a great session with John Shin. He's now Sir John Shin. He got knighted, but he's a multimillionaire. He is self-made, 23 businesses he took from nothing to multi-million. And I've known him for years, and I met him on stage. We were both speaking on Greg Reed's stage at Secret Knock. And I finally am listening to him on issues or opportunities around financial literacy and understanding all of that. So he's invited us to his home on July 8th. And it is, you know, by invitation only. So if you're interested in coming to Calabasas on July 8th, Saturday, 10 to 4, I believe, free lunch. No, it's just it's a workshop on getting smart with your money. And I think that is such an important part of happiness, which is one of the reasons why I'm talking about it now. It's not just mindset around I am affluent, I am successful. There's got to be some inspired action around that. And the only way you're going to know is by learning new things. So we'll invite you, go to drmarissa.life. And tonight at 7 p.m., my Get Happy Hour, because I can't do it tomorrow night because I'm going to Spirit Awakening fundraiser, that's Skirball Center. You can find all of that on my social. But so I'm having it tonight. So 7 p.m., I'm going to put a link up. It's just going to be like this. If you have any questions, I'm going to be doing that. And Sam's going to be there. So that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You've got Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, because it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you, Sam. You're awesome. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow with Alon Carter. Tempting conversation.